How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What is going on, guys, and welcome into the next edition of the 5-Minute Debate. You can see us laughing here because this is the second time we're doing this because of Justin getting a work call.
My bad. Duty calls, man. What do you want me to do?
All right, guys. Well, let's just jump right into this thing. We are talking tight ends. We're talking Mark Andrews versus TJ Hockenson for Dynasty's purposes. And right now, Hockenson is going at tight end 5, 60th overall, and Mark Andrews is going as tight end 4, 54th overall. And so we're going to break down these guys, who we value, who we want in Dynasty. But it is worth noting, both of these tight ends are phenomenal players. We're not poo-pooing on one of them. We're not saying don't draft one of these guys. They're both awesome, but it's just here are some things to think about when you're drafting these guys. Here are trajectories we see them going on. So, Justin, you were talking Mark Andrews today, so I'm going to let you kick us off. What do you got?
Yeah, so with Mark Andrews, it feels like he's been in the NFL a lot longer because he really has been fantasy relevant all 3 seasons he's been in the NFL. And when you break down, exclude the rookie season, you can do that with most tight ends. When you look at just what he did in year 2 and year 3, when you compare that to every single tight end drafted over the last 10 seasons, he has the 3rd most points at the tight end position, in his sophomore season and his 3rd year in the NFL. The only 2 players that rank ahead of him, I'm sure you can guess them, Jimmy Graham, Rob Gronkowski. And those 2 guys both, eclipsed 530 total points in year 2 and year 3. Andrews has only 374. But again, that's better than the likes of Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, Julius Thomas, who had a quick run, Jordan Reed, Aaron Hernandez, Dennis Pitta. There's a lot of guys in that list. And it just shows you the best is yet to come for him. And we've already seen him be so great that the ceiling is really tight end 1 potential, like the tight end 1 potential when Travis Kelce eventually fades out of the league.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and honestly, what I have to say to that is I agree with that. And it's pretty incredible to get to watch. But also for Hockenson, I think he's on the exact same trajectory. He's just a year behind, because he's only been in the league for 2 years. Obviously, he had a freshman season or rookie season where most people had to ask themselves, wow, did we get it wrong on this guy? He dealt with drops. He was inconsistent. He obviously had the concussion and was, out for a long part of the season. But then this season he comes in and he blows people out of the water with what he's been able to do. And so I think he's on a very similar trajectory to Mark Andrews. And that's why I think this is a good conversation.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the same flight path, if you will. I mean, they're doing it in different ways, and that's what makes it interesting. And that's the reason I lean Andrews over Hockenson. Andrews, he gets the valuable targets. He was 7th in deep targets at the position, 5th in red zone targets. He only played 14 games, and he was 4th in points per game. I mean, he gets the valuable targets. You want your tight end to score touchdowns. You want long plays. And Hockenson is, in his own right, very productive, but he doesn't give you those blow-up games. He had, again, 0 20-point games this season. Andrews managed 3 in an abysmal offense. I mean, an abysmal passing offense, let me be clear. So, I just think they do it in different ways. And when I'm looking at the tight end position, I want the blow-up games. I want the crazy high ceiling rather than the 12 to 15 weekly points.
Yeah, totally. And I get that. I think for me, I think that Hockenson is also trending in the direction of getting those valuable targets. I mean, we saw him get 23% of the red zone targets for the Lions this year. And so Andrews, I think, was up at 28% or 29, which is great. Yeah. But when you look at the actual targets, what the targets break down to, because of how much the Lions throw versus what the Ravens try to do in the red zone, Hawk saw 17 targets to Andrews 18. So I think the differentiation in how much a team is passing, or these 2 teams are passing, kind of closes the gap of how many red zone targets they're going to see. So I think that's
absolutely.
I think that's something for Hawk. Hawk has a phenomenal. He was top 5 in catch rate for the tight ends who saw around 70, 75 targets, and he also ran over 38% of his routes in the slot or lined up out wide, which is another reason why Andrews is valuable. But this is, I think, repeating the whole thing of Hockenson you might be able to get a little bit later, and he really is on the exact same trajectory to greatness as Andrews is.
Yeah, again, yeah. And I'm not poo-pooing either of them, like you said up top. I mean, I think they're comparable talents, but as of right now, I just don't see those double-digit touchdown seasons in Hockenson's immediate future. And a lot of that has to do with the offense he's in. And the Ravens, objectively, they were worse this season than last. And you saw it. I mean, you saw it in Mark Andrews' numbers. They averaged 4 points less a game and 60 yards less a game. I think as they start to get Andrews more involved, you should see that, increase. I mean, again, pre-bye week and post-bye week were two different seasons for Mark Andrews. Pre-bye week, he was on pace for, 88 targets, 53 catches. Post-bye week, 110 targets, 76 catches. And if that's the kind of pace he can continue into next season, he could be, and he's not going to pass Travis Kelce, but he could flirt with tight end 2, tight end 3 numbers again.
Yeah, totally. But, and basically, I agree with all of those things, but I also think Hawk can be in that conversation because not only is he getting the opportunity to get those targets that Andrews has seen, those valuable targets, but I think he's going to see them more, like you said, not in the immediate future. I think he will see them more in this 2021 season and maybe 2022 than he will after those seasons, because the Lions are in a rebuild right now and they are devoid of talent at the wide receiver position. It doesn't look like they're going to tag Galladay because they're in a rebuild. So I think they're going to let him go. And so he might be the best pass catcher they have right now.
Yeah. And when I say immediate future, I'm just talking red zone targets, because I don't think they're going to be in the red zone that much. I don't have faith in that. So I think that limits the ceiling. Like, again, Hawk had 0 20-point games this season in a better offense. Yeah. No Kenny Galladay the majority of the season. I just don't see how he gets to double-digit touchdowns. Whereas if Mark Andrews scored 12, I wouldn't bat an eye. And then that's the differentiator for me. I want the touchdown upside at the tight end position.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know how much better the offense was, but I get what you're saying. The rest of it is up to you guys. Who do you guys think you're taking in Dynasty leagues? In startups? Are you taking Andrews? You taking Hawk? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we
3-0.
No, you are not 3-0. We'll see you next time. Bye.